Hi, I'm Taylor Metless, and this is my speech and experience. Um, I will be giving my speech on the night that I actually almost saved a dying man. A little bit of background. It was, I want to say it was about February or March, and I was on my way home from work. I work at Victoria's Secret at the Deerbrook Mall, which is south of Kingwood off of 59, like you're headed towards downtown Houston. And we had so much to do that night. We had so much business, and we usually close at 9, and we usually end up getting out around 10:30, but that evening we didn't end up getting out until about 12. And we were very busy. We had a lot to clean up. We had so much business. And so I was on my way home, and I was had exited from Highway 59 to 494, and there are 2 to 3 lights before I reach the street that takes me into Kingwood, which is the don't want to say city, but larger neighborhood that I live in. And on the light that I was coming to, I'm just minding my own business, kind of taking in the scenery. I'm very I like to look around when I drive. I like to take in everything, very observant. And I was looking around, and I saw a motorcycle lying on its side on the lane going the opposite direction. And I was very curious. I was like, that's not supposed to be there. No. And there was an SUV. Pardon me, my cat is acting up. There was an SUV in front of me that that was had pulled over, that had made a U-turn at the next available place past the light, and very swift. And I knew exactly. I was like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what's happening. Like, someone was on that motorcycle. I need to turn around and help right now. And so I had followed the SUV. The SUV swerved around the motorcycle to park on the side, on the median by the curb, and I had quickly pulled over. I knew to put my hazards on. I parked my car, and I sprinted towards the body that I saw lying on the cement. And running towards me was a blonde lady that appeared to be about in her 30s or 40s, and and it was insane experience, because from that moment, from when I made contact with the man, it was a man that appeared to be in his 60s. The details that I remember are very few. If someone were to ask me to give a detailed, like, description, like, thank God the police didn't ask me to do that, because it would have been very difficult. I remember very basic things, like the man struggled breathing. There was a pool of blood behind his head. His motorcycle was lying about 20 to 30 feet south of him. He was lying on his back, and I will never forget the sound of his breath. It was like gargling, and it was the scariest thing I'd ever heard. As soon as I made contact with the man, I called 911. My hands were shaking. I don't remember thinking. I remember doing. I remember taking action and doing. And I remember also feeling very overwhelmed, because I'm 19 years old, and here's this lady, and in my heart I'm just like begging her, please be the adult in this situation. Like, I don't know if I can do this. And I ended up making the 911 call, talking to dispatch, explaining his vitals. The fact that I knew to do this, like, surprised even myself. That I knew to, talk to the man, to let him know to stay facing up, to not constrict his airway. After getting off the phone with dispatch, I stayed by the man's side. I ran to my car and grabbed a jacket that I had and wrapped it around the back of his head, and I was sitting cross-legged with his head in my lap, and I was holding it like so to try and put pressure to the back of his head where the wound was. And and I just sat like that until, seconds later, I'm sure it was seconds, but I just felt like I was sitting there on the cement forever. Until the ambulance, I just remember it being a cocktail of emergency lights around me and people that I don't even know coming around me. I mean, asking stupid questions. I had already called dispatch. I am doing what I need to be doing, what dispatch told me to be doing for this man. And I remember just looking at his eyes, and they were not responding to changes in light because we were taking a phone light and moving it back and forth to see if there's any brain damage. And clearly there was. Um, he was moving, so he wasn't paralyzed. He kept on trying to move over, like so, like turning over, and we wouldn't let him because we knew that his airway needed to be facing up so he could breathe. And I just remember when the paramedics had arrived, I kept asking, just let me know when you want me to move. Just let me know when you want me to move. And they said, okay, you did good. You did good. You can go. And I will never, never forget walking away after giving my statement, after everything had happened, and my hands were shaking. And I said aloud in my brain, like, wow, I just saved that man's life. Um, yeah. It was completely, my thinking was completely blank. It was purely instinctual, that entire experience. And I'll always regret my mother telling me going by the fire station and specifically asking if that man had made it. And I was very sad to find that he did not make it that evening. And so the man that I had stopped on the side of the road to help, God rest his soul, is in heaven now. And so, yeah, that's my personal experience. The age of 19 years old, I have attempted to save a dying man. So that's a lot to put under my belt. Thank you.